Okay, good morning. It's Tuesday, June 29th. Let's go over and take a look here at the S&P 500. So, market's been open for about 10 minutes or so and about 15 minutes, 13 minutes. So, a couple of things here. So, yesterday, you will remember that we talked about this CP up here, 4288. I actually talked about 4288 in the morning yesterday. So that was one of the targets that we had up here. And so what happened, of course, new all-time high this morning, punched up, hit 42.88. So up above that, I want to give you a couple of things that you can also use up here. So there's 92 half, so just draw the fib in between there, and then watch that midpoint at 97. And it's also not out of the question that 14 half, if it started to really get some legs, that we could see that. And unless it does start to break down or something, we should eventually see a push up to some of these bigger numbers up here, 4,300 plus. So just not sure how much of that we'll get today, given the way the range has been lately. I mean, even this is still only like 19 points or something. So nothing crazy here so far. Okay. So a couple of things you can see. This green area that I have highlighted, that came off of a 10-minute chart. There's going to basically be this area that you're going to want to watch between like 83. This kind of moves, there's a price that's kind of moving up here. And you could draw it like this. It would look like, if you take this candle here, this is the 520 my time in NinjaTrader. So if you take this candle and kind of go off of the top of this one and then just about this candle right here at 625 and just go about a tick above it, above the low there, about like that. And that should give you, yeah, might be a tad higher than how I just drew it, but basically watch that for some an area for some pullback, and then watch this 79 area down here. So watch that. It's probably more like 79 quarter. So just watch that. If that breaks, if these two different areas break, that'd be kind of the first thing that I'd be looking at as a sign that there's going to be some more selling. Yesterday we had 73 quarter, and so I'd keep an eye on that again today. And then if they break, that 70 half area is the midpoint between the prediction points. And if that breaks, then we're back to some of the same scenario that we talked about for yesterday. There's this little area right here that they would need to still get through, this like 65. So that's something kind of keep a little bit of an eye on, but you can see what we kind of have highlighted here and some of what we talked about yesterday, but doesn't look like, doesn't look overly weak to me. Not saying you can't at some point hit a high and then start to really drop from there, but they'd really have to take out that, let's call it 60 area probably. You can see this yellow highlighted area in the background. They'd probably need to take that out, and then it would really just kind of open up for down to here. But even down to 53, so I'm not saying there's not room, because the market has been in a pretty tight range. So it's not that there's not room that you can't sell it down to there if it did start to break. I just pay close attention to this 79 quarter area. If they are unable to hold this, and so they come below here and then can't get back up above here, it could be some good opportunities for selling into some of these lower prices. Otherwise, then pretty likely they're going to continue to move up. So that's pretty much all I can tell you about today. Watch this 91, 92 half, and then I think it's like 96 quarter, 97 half area, or 3 quarters. Just draw the fib in there and watch that. And if it really starts to get some legs, this is not at all impossible, and even a bit more than that. When the prediction points are so far apart, I do like to use that midpoint. So 10. Um, but yeah, price action is always the thing you want to be watching, and then the levels are just the areas of interest that we want to be paying attention to. So we can see all-time high. We talked about this yesterday. It probed it by 1 point and then pulled back from there. And so, and again, it's probed that again now. So, you know, obviously these are areas of interest. The only other thing I would point out is that at like 89.75, if you follow any of the other stuff that we use, like key turns or anything, at 89.75 and then 90 quarter. So basically, in those three ticks, we have two of our four key turns are stacked right in there. So just something to pay attention to. And then the next one's up at 96, 96 quarter. So what key turns is telling us is that actually, from the perspective of key turns, the market's actually bearish. So there's actually a sell bias in the market according to key turns, and you'd have to break above 96 for that to start to change. So kind of interesting. I'm not saying that you should bet the farm on that or anything. I'm just saying it's worth noting. So, does that it probably means right now there's no 50-point rip up coming. Okay? And unless things really start to change. Now you start to see strength up above 96. Okay. Now that can start to change things a bit. But it's got to go all the way from where it traded today in the Globex all the way down at 72. And it's got to go take out 96 just to, from the perspective of key turns, just to start to get a buying bias. It's a long ways to go. It's also interesting how these prices tend to act as magnets as well, that the market wants to come back to these prices, no matter where they are, even if it's never been there before. So pretty amazing stuff. Last thing, let's throw this on there and look. I showed a little trick in one of the trainings that we did. Let's just throw that up there. Okay, so key turns is, or one price is unfilled at 75.75. Then there's yesterday's, and then the one before that. And I showed this little trick in the training that I did before, but here's Friday's. So let's see what that gives us. So there's 91 quarter, and then 08. So all I did is I measured the difference from here to here, two important prices, just to see where where we end up being there. Okay, so 75.75 is an unfilled one price, so from today. So that'll be interesting. It did come back here at 450, and then this plotted at 5. So, but the statistics are built on, and all the analytics are built on the current, like that it has to hit after it plots. So, anyway, I mean, at some point, obviously, we will come back here. Not sure how much, I'm not necessarily looking. I'm not a seller today unless something starts to change. Right now, I'm buying pullbacks, and I was, holding for this move up. So we got this move up. It doesn't look like it's over with. So we'll just see what happens next. I'll be back here today for a review video, and I'll see you all then. Hopefully this morning's video is helpful for you. Trade smart, take what the market will give you, just take it one step at a time, and then we'll go from there, and we'll see you later today.